Alrighty, here we go, starting the brake edition. Just as a reminder, it's an AutoZone kit. Powerstop is the brand name. Drilled and slotted all four corners, and carbon fiber blended ceramic pads and the hardware. All that stuff came with it. Only one sensor, so hopefully I don't have any problems. Or maybe there's only one, I don't know yet. Anyway, we're gonna just normal brake stuff. So take the caliper off, take the caliper retaining bracket off, take this guy off. Hopefully those don't give us much trouble. Take this guy off, put the new one on, put it all back together. I was gonna paint the calipers, but Mama said no. This is my wife's car, by the way. So, going all four corners. So let's see what we can get done in a few minutes. Alright, this is the best I can do for an unboxing. I'm only going to waste your time with wrapping a bunch of stuff. These are from AutoZone. This is the K5754. Came in two different boxes. This is the brake kit. Drilled and slotted. Each one comes labeled. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of neat. These are the fronts. Front passenger side, driver's side, rear passenger side, second one's under there. Brake pads came in a box with the hardware. This is a Powerstop, by the way, kit. Powerstop. Ceramic brakes. And one, I don't know if we have two or one, that's a sensor, brake pad sensor. Kind of cool. Hopefully there's only one. If not, I might go replace it. Replace the other one too. But I think this kit was like $4 something, $480, $460, comparable to a Brembo kit or a StopTech kit if I ordered it through eBay. But I was worried about parts fitting. I think I mentioned that before, so I wanted to be able to take them back if possible. Again, this kit is called, it's a K754 by Powerstop. And then we got this kit is a Bilstein, I think it's a Pro or something, 2. Anyway, there's the number. It's the slightest modification to ride height, not stock but a little bit lower. There, performance 2. So it should get about 30 to 35 millimeters low, which is a little over an inch lower, I should say. New struts, new shocks, new springs. Like I said, I measured this, so we'll see what happens when it gets lowered. But if it pulls it down an inch, I think that'll be just perfect for that. I mean, it's pretty good now, but I mean, you know the rule. So there you go. There's all the parts we're playing with today, and we'll see how this works out. Need to get that engine out of here. Ugh. Alrighty, well, that's a shame. The rotors look good. Brake pads are about 50%, but I was gonna have it all apart, so I went ahead and did this. But yeah, I only had a few minutes tonight, but I got the front disassembled. Nice, these set back there. The brake pad warning light thing was only on this side, so there was only one. But I see some anti-seize here, which means I was probably here before. The little screws came out super nice, which means I probably put some anti-seize on them. So that paid off for us. But yeah, tomorrow's Friday. We'll get this buttoned up. I think I'm going to take everything apart and then put it all back together. That way I have a dirty cycle and a clean cycle. But I'll get the back taken apart, and then we'll clean it all up and spray those guys down, get them bolted on, and go to town. Alright, so we're going to put on new rotors in the back. We got all the, got all the rotors off, brake pads out, caliper retaining brackets are all off. So we're ready to start putting it back together. But I want to do one more thing before we go to clean mode, which is we're going to put new rotors on. Rotors are thicker, brake pads are new, so they're thicker. So you have to spread that gap. Now on the fronts, you just put the old brake pad in there. And I'll show you this just because it's normal, everybody knows it, but it was nice. You put the old brake pad in there, you use a C-clamp and compress this. There's no rotation here because this is just a disc brake system. On the back, you've got an emergency brake, and that's why there's two cables. Well, not two cables, there's one hose and then one cable. The hose is here, cable is here. It also might be, might be electronic brakes. I think they are. So, the electronics. Yep, so there's a motor there that tightens this up. Oh, that's right, because there's in this particular car, I'm getting too specific for the car, but in this car it's got an electric button that holds the emergency brake down. So your parking brake, sorry. Anyway, if you look on the face of this guy, there's 3 little grooves, and it's serrated. That turns the whole caliper, the whole piston turns. It rotates in the, so you can't just push it back. It comes up against thread or gears. So you have to have a special tool. That special tool is available at Harbor Freight in the form of this kit, or you can go to AutoZone and rent it. By the way, I'm not an AutoZone employee or nothing. They're just close and I like them. I think you can see that item number there. Anyway, I think this thing's like 30 bucks. It's got all the adapters and stuff in it for multiple cars. Tells you which one to use. The chart's wrong for my car, but it doesn't matter. Basically, you find the one that goes in here. Let's see if I can get this light here so you can see. You find the one that locks in. See that little stud? It locks into the, so it doesn't rotate. Right, so the stud goes into the slot so it doesn't rotate. Now, once you found that one, you find the correct tool. So it's weird, on this one it says, on this particular car it says left hand, and this is the passenger side. So you put this guy on here with the special bracket. Let me see if I got the bracket. Oh, it's right here. You notice that looks like a old brake pad. It just goes in the thing. I'll show you. So this is going to be difficult to do with 2 hands, or 1 hand I mean, but anyway. So you see that rotates and it opens up the gap, and then you do it like that. Set this guy in there the way we talked about, and it clamps on. I'll set up the tripod and see if we can get a better picture of this. Alright, so we got all of our stuff off. We got our calipers collapsed. I'm going to collapse the calipers in the front in a second. Next thing is to make sure our parts are, I should have done this when we first got it, but make sure our parts are pretty damn close. So I like to check the height like this. That checks your offset here. And then, of course, your bolt pattern. You can flip this guy over, put her up on the bottom, line up your bolt pattern and your stud hole, or your locking screw hole, and then feel in here for feeling in there for the, make sure those are the same, and everything's good. That's the rear. Or, I'm sorry, that's the front. We'll do the same thing with the rears here. Same thickness. Center hole, bolt hole, stud hole. Same height there. We're good. Now we'll check our brake pads. Well, they're not open, but pretty close. We've got to make sure one has a stud, and then they got the little hardware for the centering, but should be good. And then the rears, same kind of thing. Appear to be pretty good. All right, so let's go ahead and continue on. The next thing is to clean these guys. So I'm going to set up a station over here. Put one of the boxes that they came in, spray them all down, wipe them down, and one at a time put them up on the doodles. Alright, I'm sure everybody's seen this before, but what the hey, we'll do it again. Old brake pad, set it in there. C-clamp, make sure there's nothing back here you're going to hurt. Tighten, snug it up. Now the trick here is just rotate it. You're not trying to force it like quickly, because you're pushing fluid back into the master cylinder past there's a check valve in there that only allows 2 to 3 pounds of residual pressure on disc brakes. That's what keeps the caliper out. I think it's 2 to 3 pounds, might be higher, maybe 5 pounds. But you see, I'm just turning this with 2 fingers, and you're just going back until your piston gets flush again. I'll show you that closer, what you want to look for. And if you run up against hard pressure, just stop and check out what's going on and start over. It will stop eventually. There you go. So do that to both sides. I'll show you. So you're looking for that flush. You know, you're not going to compress this rubber, so you can't go any farther past that. So that's pretty much it. I didn't feel it stop, but it was really close. Sometimes the other side might push out a little bit when you do that, but you'll be all right. All right, well, cardboard box thing, AutoZone brake cleaner. Yeah, this is just what I do. I mean, do it the way it makes you happy. I'm not trying to tell you exactly what to do, just giving you an idea what I do. They come packed, they come with a packing oil on them. Ah, my hand. Alright, I'm just going to show you this once. You can see there's some residual stuff, but anti-seize, so it's steel to steel, so you don't want to rust. Kind of like the corrosion thing. Put a little bit on there. Some people don't do this. I do it because it makes it come off easy. It's just a thin layer. You're just painting it on there. Most of it will squeeze out when you torque it all down, but now at this point, it's all the way around. At this point, I also take a little bit, put in the threads here. That way you don't have to put it on your studs when you're putting them in. And they'll torque and always come on and off real easy once you hit them with your wrench. I use that residual rag. I'll talk about this in another video. The rag with that residual cleaner on it, just to get it's nice to keep around, because then it's like a wipey. Anyway. Alright, I'm going to do that to all the other 4, and we'll come back and start putting pads on, because I don't want them to fall off. Alright, just wanted to show you this. So it came with new hardware and new rubbers. So basically these things just kind of, let me get a screwdriver real quick. These things just pop off. They just got those guys back on, kind of centered them up. They snap on. I probably should have washed these, but maybe if I didn't paint them, I would have. Make sure they're squished on there, or your brake pads are going to have a hard time going on. Okay, anyway, so then you can pull these guys just straight out and then work them off. Put the new one on. Then we're using synthetic made for disc brakes, because disc brakes get a little hot. Nice and lubey.
This kind of went missing, but every single time I call her name, she comes straight back. So
Snap that guy on.
And
oh! If they're super dirty or grudgy, you'll want to clean them, but these are got some good lube on them still, so.
Yeah, super friendly. I think people just touch her too easy. Yeah. And I mean, I don't even have a penny box. I'm not even really nervous because I have kids, and I'm like, why did I sign myself up for that?
And there you go. That's all there is to that. Something I forgot to mention is all these bolts to hold the caliper carrier and the caliper on. I always put a little bit of the anti-seize on the threads there. If you remember, we couldn't get this apart because it was all seized up, and anti-seize I just love it. I don't know why they don't just use it. I guess it's a money-saving thing, or they don't plan on stuff coming apart, but I love it. I put it on everything, dissimilar metals, it doesn't matter. And I don't know. I don't want stuff to be hard to take apart when I got to work on it. I like keeping stuff for a long time too, so anyway.